What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this on a subject: Steph Curry versus Isaiah Thomas. Like, who was better? And the more I see as well as Steph Curry's career is winding down, and I see like what he's been doing late in his career, man. I think there's a stronger case, a very strong case to put Steph Curry, in my opinion, ahead of Isaiah. You know, even though Isaiah Thomas played in an era where like it was a tougher era, I still think there's a very strong case for Steph Curry. Isaiah Thomas won two rings in an era where they played. I mean, it was much more physical in the era where Isaiah Thomas played. But in an era that really wasn't all that physical, Steph Curry won four rings, right? So he doubled up what Isaiah Thomas did and won four, whereas though Isaiah only won the two. And so watching Steph, man, throughout his career and watching how he has conducted himself and the way he's won it, I think I would put him at this point. I just think it's a case to put him to edge out Isaiah Thomas. For a long time, I felt like a lot of other people that Steph Curry, wasn't going to be able to catch Isaiah Thomas, man. But I don't know. It's a strong case when you put everything side by side. I think Steph, in my opinion, really edges him out. Right now, I was listening to who else? I was online just listening to some videos or watching people talk about that debate, Steph Curry versus Isaiah Thomas. And Charles Barkley said some things, now this was a while ago. Charles Barkley, he addressed it. This was a while ago. Now, I don't know like if Charles Barkley still feel this way, but what I want to do is I want to play this video of what Charles Barkley he said about Steph Curry.
Curry. He never probably got the credit or respect that he deserved. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in a game, if I had to choose, and I love Steph Curry, and I know people gonna go on the internet because they ain't got no life. If I had to choose between Steph Curry and Isaiah, I'd probably go with Isaiah in a scenario. But I love Steph, I love Isaiah. But if I had one guy, if I had to choose between those two, I'm not gonna ever choose against Isaiah. I feel bad for Isaiah because he's the best little man ever until Steph Curry. He never probably got the credit or respect that he deserved. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in a game, if I had to choose, and I love Steph Curry, and I know people gonna go on the internet because they ain't got no life. If I had to choose between Steph Curry and Isaiah, I'd probably go with Isaiah in a scenario. But I love Steph, I love Isaiah, but if I had
All right, so you heard Charles Barkley say that if he had to choose between the two, he would definitely go. He would choose Isaiah. Now, I had the opportunity to watch both of these guys play, Steph and Isaiah.
if I had to choose between
Wait a minute,
Steph Curry,
I had the opportunity, like I said, to watch
Let me
both of
just
these
tell you what.
guys, right? And when you take into account like what kind of teammate Steph was, what kind of leader he was, and the sacrifices he made for his team, like both players made sacrifices. And both of these guys was leaders for their team. But I don't know, man. Every time I just think about the career overall, what Steph Curry was able to do, the four rings he was able to win. Then on top of that, like the adjustment Steph Curry had to make when Kevin Durant came to the team, right? Steph Curry, I don't know if he was totally on board with it, but either way, Steph Curry didn't really disrupt that. He did, he just did what was best for the team, and he just went along with it. When you look at Steph Curry's overall image on a team, like the bad boy image, I think kind of take away from what Isaiah was able to do, as a basketball player, whereas though Steph Curry didn't have to really play physical like that, or he didn't really have to play what some people would feel like was a dirty player. Like Steph Curry never really had any dust ups with people. People tried to play him physical, they tried to beat Steph Curry up, but he just battled through that. And the way he battled through that wasn't like I said, he didn't get into any big fights with people or anything like that, man. I just, like I said, man, Steph Curry was in my opinion, one of the greatest shooters of all time. So let me play this video of what Isaiah Thomas had to say about Steph Curry, and then I'm going to react to that one too.
The way I think about point guards. And the Golden State Warriors, you are the point guard. You have more assists than Steph. You bring the ball up, you initiate the offense, you set the defense, you run the show. Steph comes off screens, he catches, and he shoots, and he's one of the greatest shooters ever. And what he's been able to do for this generation of play, and the way he's won with it, key word, the way he's won with it, has been different than anybody else has ever tried to do it. I won a different way. As a point guard, I led my team, and I may be the only one who's done this as a point guard, where I've led my team in scoring and assists to back-to-back championships. Let me just tell you the way I.
All right, so now, I don't know. In a way, it just seems like Isaiah Thomas is trying to minimize what Steph Curry did, right? The fact that he don't have as many assists, and so Isaiah Thomas is trying to say, well, all right, Steph Curry don't have the assists that I have. He didn't lead in assists and scoring, right? And like I said, number one, it was a different era, right? But I want to just focus on the bottom line, because Isaiah Thomas was going after championships. So he did whatever it took to get the championships, for his teams. Same thing for Steph Curry. Steph Curry was going after championships. So no matter what Steph Curry had to do, scoring was his thing. So he was an elite scorer. He ran off of the picks. He stayed in motion throughout, and so he was able to have success like that. In my opinion, more success than what Isaiah Thomas had. Isaiah Thomas trying to legitimize it, because he's saying, well, Steph Curry don't have the assists that I had. He didn't lead in scoring and assists. All right, but Steph Curry had more rings. Even though Draymond, the offense ran through Draymond. If Draymond didn't have Steph on there to shoot the ball and to make the score for the team, it don't matter what who you running your offense through, man. So I just, even though now just think about it. Now Isaiah Thomas is trying to, this argument, he wouldn't make this argument if he was talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, right? He would go with if LeBron had more rings than Mike, then he would use that. But since LeBron got more stats than Mike, then Isaiah Thomas focused on that. But when you're talking about him and Steph Curry, and his stats for 2 years was better than Steph Curry's, those 2 championship years, now he's leaning on that stats argument, right? So, man, I'm going with Steph Curry. The way he did it, he did it with class. He didn't have to play dirty. He didn't have to play physical. Well, he did play physical, but most of the time it's because other teams initiated, right? And he fought through it. But in my opinion, man, I'm gonna go with Steph, man, over Isaiah. And even though the Golden State Warriors just got knocked out of the playoffs, well, the play-in game, they just lost the play-in game to Phoenix. I'm still going with Steph, man. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think Isaiah was better or if you think Steph was better. And with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. And I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.